Hello everybody and welcome. Today I am showcasing another custom player card expansion, and as you can see there are a lot of cards to go through for this one. So this is the Falling For You player card expansion that I believe is supposed to eventually be paired up with a custom campaign designed by Robin. Just an awesome custom content creator out there that they wanted me to check out this entire expansion. As you can see, it also comes with investigators. I love this, and it's also especially nice right now because there's been such a long drought for any new content in the actual official game. It's nice to dive into this and look at some new player cards and try to just like dream and think about what the heck you can do with the investigators. So there are some keywords that exist in this one. Foretold. Foretold X. Put in your play area as a card that cannot be interacted with normally with X time counters unless it specifies the ability can be used when it is being foretold. At the start of your turn, remove one time counter. Then if there are no time counters left in play, play the card. So this is basically, if you've played Magic the Gathering, this is basically suspend from Magic the Gathering. Ethereal. When this card to be removed from the play, remove it from the game. If the card is bonded, return it to your bonded cards instead. That's kind of fun. You see this mechanic in deck builders a lot. It's a great way to like Slay the Spire. It's a great way to kind of balance that kind of stuff. And then we got Cunning. This action did not provoke attacks of opportunity. This should have been keyworded a long time ago, so you'll have seen it here. We're going to dive in and check out the investigators first, because they're always the best place to start. So notably, I'll just say right off the bat, there's a lot of great art in this. I've kind of looked at some of the art that's been here. It's all made in Midjourney, which I think is an awesome way to make your art for like personal, non-profit projects. So I think that this is a great way to kind of like have your art for your custom stuff without needing to, because you can't make, we're not looking to make money on our Arkham custom content. But if you're going to do official stuff where you're making money, don't use Midjourney. That's just my stance on it. And I'm going to repeat that stance probably one more time in my life. So notably, this guy only soaks for 5 and 6. So we got Reynold Duron. Reynold? I don't know how to actually pronounce that. 5 brain, 2 book, 4 fist, 1 foot. He is the Eternal. He's a veteran and he is a warden. You begin the game with fused armor unbroken in play. You can take damage in excess of your health. Interesting. Heal plus heal effect plus 1 heal 1 damage. Alright. Fused armor. Let's start here, because we have to see this the fused armor unbroken. At the end of your turn, place a resource on fused armor. Then, if fused armor has 2 resources, remove all resources from fused armor and heal 1 damage. If you have damage in excess of your health, flip fused armor. So this is the broken side. At the end of your turn, every investigate location takes a horror, then heal 1 damage. If you would take damage, take that much horror instead. If you have less damage than health, flip fused armor. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, what's his deck building? Guardians, 0 to 5. Seeker Assets, 0 to 3. Neutral, 0 to 5. No armor cards, except for his fused armor, of course. So you can't play the Armor of Ardennis. I like that, so you can't put armor on top of your armor. Okay. Very interesting. So I do think on initial read that this is actually going to be harder to... This is going to be harder to break than it seems, It seems like this card actually would be harder to break, mostly because you probably take 2 damage every 3 turns, roughly. 4 turns, probably, right? Which means you heal the damage that you take from it. It does do a cool thing where you can kind of actually like have some fun with the blood eclipse with this character. So that seems really neat. The Grizz, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the goddamn table. It's a pleasure to have you. Let's look at the signatures. Unbreakable. Fast. Play when you're dealt damage. Cancel up to 10 damage just dealt to you. Draw 1 card for every 2 points of damage canceled. Oh, fun. Okay, that's sick. Commits for 3 brain. Nice. And then we got Weak Point. At Weak Point to your threat area, when an enemy attack deals damage, you take 3 extra damage, discard Weak Point. Okay, cool. So notably, I actually really like this, right? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, This guy can't die to damage, right? Like, this guy is unkillable when it comes to damage. He can only die to horror, which he dies in horror. Like, he's gonna eventually die to horror if he has, like, no damage remaining. Like, if he has no health remaining. He will eventually succumb to this. So this guy is, like, actually a tank. This guy can't die. Hello, Robin. Man, it's so weird for me when I put, when I link names between services. So you've always been Jenny Barnes and Noble to me, but now I know you're Jenny Barnes and Noble and also Robin. That's always strange for me. But yeah, this guy looks like he'd be very hard to kill, which is neat. He's a tank. His ability is actually, like, not particularly, like, powerful, because all it does is it stops him from losing, right? It doesn't help him win, which I think is nice, because you don't want to have, like, you see this sometimes with custom characters where, like, they're, like, really strong. Does he inflict horror upon himself when taking damage? No, but when he has too much damage on him, he takes horror with his fused armor. So if he runs out of damage, he's going to start taking horror from the broken side of his fused armor. Seems fun, though. Seems fun. All right, Emerson Wilcop, the backup singer. 3/4/2/4/7/7. As a reaction, when Emerson Wilcop is the target of another investigator's card effect, that investor gains 1 resource or draws 1 card. Interesting. Like the flavor with a backup singer. Does anyone else feel like you're falling right now, just the angle of these cards? Do I need to come more like this? I just feel like I'm falling for some reason. Like I'm not... Maybe I have an inner ear infection right now. Elder Sign effect, +0. Another investigator location gains 1 resource or draws 1 card. Interesting. I like the idea of, like, the Seeker design space. How it's changing. In custom cards, you can see where people don't want to make busted Seekers, so instead they have, like, Seekers with, like, very interesting gimmicks to kind of counteract that. Alright, so this is Seeker 0-5. Survivor Skill 0-3. Is this character made for me? It's very interesting. Alright, because, like, you don't actually do anything unless someone else helps you, right? So let's see the signatures and see what we got here. Alright. Sing it with me. Fast. Play only during your turn. Discard 1 card for every other investigator at your location. Search your bonded cards for Chorus and add 1 copy to your hands for every other investigator at location. So Chorus. You must decide. Every investigator at your location heals 1 horror, or choose a connect location. Every investigator location moves to that location. Interesting. Interesting. So you're basically replacing cards in your hand for Chorus. And then we have Fleeting Dreams. He's given up the artistic life. Add Fleeting Dreams to your threat area. At the start of the round, you must choose lose 2 actions, discard Fleeting Dreams, or discard 2 resources. Okay, so it's just the double action weakness. Aludat! 6 months at the golden table. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being awesome. And thank you for dropping a Russ emote in chat. I love seeing my cat. So thank you for letting me see my cat. So this one's interesting. I think, like, his stat line is really nice, in terms of, like, what his card pool gives him. But it's an interesting ability, right? It's like a pure support thing. And he also doesn't have a way to allow his ability to trigger. It's very interesting. Because I need to know, like, I need to, like, figure out, like, what... Because it does seem like it's good, you know, if you can make it trigger. But it's definitely one of those things where you need to, like, decide as a group how you're gonna build, right? I think it'd be a bit more interesting if there was a way, like, so, like, if maybe, like, it's a strange, but, like, if Chorus, if this was like a Vincent Lee, yeah, he'd be very good to play with the butler, wouldn't he? But if, like, Chorus was like Vincent Lee, where you gave the cards to other players, right? So, like, then they sing with you. Like, they're doing the main singing, and you're kind of, like, just the backup singer. And then if, like, Chorus, like, targeted, you know, it gives it to others? Am I just reading? Yeah! Am I just reading it wrong? That happens. Search your bounty cards for Corson and 1 copy in the hands of every other. And okay, so look at that. Look at that. So if I read it correctly, then that's great. Yeah, no, that's sick. Then never mind. Scratch what I'm saying. It does trigger on this. And how many copies of Sing It With Me do you get? 1? I could see in testing that there could be a need to have like 2 copies of Sing It With Me. In that case, yeah, Course doing that. Flavor Flea's really nice. Fits really well. Green Shadow, the Vigilante. Vigilante if you're naughty. 2/3/4/3. This is a rogue. 8/7 Soak. After the 3rd time you move each round, gain 2 resources and deal 1 damage to an enemy at your location. Okay, for a second in my brain thought that was the first time you move. But the 3rd time. Spend 2 resources. Take an evade or move action limit once per round. Interesting. So basically, if you use it for your 3rd action, you don't basically gain the resources, right? You just kind of like do it. You just kind of like, you're paying 2 resources to gain 2 resources and deal a damage. There's not always going to be enemies at your location, and this one actually, like, free damage is always a scary thing to, like, put on a card, especially an investigator card, but you're going to actually have to waste a lot of actions to do the damage testlessly. So I feel like it's going to be one of those things that's going to kind of just happen, as opposed to one of those things that just, like, you're going to be doing constantly. I could be wrong, though. Effect +2 after this test ends, you may take an evade or a move action. So noticeably only 3 foot, but 4 fist, excuse me, is nice to see on a rogue investigator. Cards that move an investigator 0-3, yeah, that seems fair. And rogue 0-5. Cool. Boots of Flight. Limit 1 footwear per investigator. They should have just given us a damn boot slot. You get +1 foot. When you move to location you started this round at. Interesting. So like the whole idea, zoop, zoop, jumping back and forth. As a reaction, exhaust Boots of Flight, gain a resource, test foot 1. If you succeed, move to a connecting location. That does make it more likely to be able to actually trigger. The name of this set is Falling For You, the player card half of a future, I believe, full expansion of player cards and custom campaign. And then we got Gelatinous Ooze. You cannot move while Gelatinous Ooze is engaged with you. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think this seems fun. Like, it has an interesting play style, like the moving around the board. It is actually kind of funny. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, but you still gain 2 resources even if you don't deal the damage to an enemy or location. So this actually seems like a very fun Delilah O'Rourke build that can be built here. I think that seems really interesting. All right, Rose Smith, the Witch, 4/4/2/2. Spell events in your hand cost 1 less. Let's go. Forced. After you play a spell event, take 1 horror. Interesting. All right. Elder Sound effect +2. You may choose to discard a spell event from your hand to heal 2 horror. Interesting. Okay, 6/8 Soak. Mystic 0-5. Spell events 0-3. Neutral 0-5. Polymorph, Withering, and a random basic weakness. Okay. Hey, look at that. It's a goat. Oh, you turn enemies into it, don't you? It's polymorph, yeah. Alright. X event. As an initial cost to play polymorph, choose a gnarly enemy location. X is the enemy's fight value. Search your bonded cards for a copy of Goat and put it into play at the enemy's location. Then discard that enemy. Fun! That's a fun effect. Like, it's just like... I think it's appropriately costed, right? Because if you do this to a rat, you're actually, like, doing nothing. Like, what the hell are you doing? You do this to, a conglomeration of spheres. There's always, like, a good high-end enemy that you want to solve quickly. It does cost you, like, a crap ton of resources, you know? Yeah, Deep 1 Goat instead of a Deep 1 Bull, that's a great change, you know? I think it's very appropriately costed. It's also ethereal, which remembers is it removes from the game instead. And you only get like 1 of these, right? So you only get to do this once. It's like a super kill spell to turn it into a goat. I love it. Withering. It's the spell event. Take a damage and a horror. Ooh! So this deals you a damage and 2 horror when you play this. Alright. While Withering is in your hand, your spell cards cost 2 more to play. So Withering then will also cost 3? Oh, no, it'll cost 2. Yeah, she does get the spell discount too. Yeah, so it's only 5, which I think is still pretty fair. And you also have to take a horror to do this. Yeah, so this will cost 2 because you get the -1 reduction and then the 2 from the Withering. Interesting. You know, I'm curious to see how this plays. My concern is that you're going to die to horror quicker than you want. Just because of this. Like, having to get the Elder Sign is a little bit spooky. But I mean, like, you can just build healing. And technically, I'm pretty sure you can... No, because I'm pretty sure with the way that things were ruled, you can actually play Hallowed Mirror level 3 in this deck because it has spell events that are level 0 to 3. I'm pretty sure that's how that works now. I could be wrong. It's interesting. Yeah, Ward of Protection deals 2 horror. It's one of those things where I'm curious to see how it goes. Like, if it might be one of those things in practice where the spell event could actually be reduced by 2, potentially. But then you just run healing, right? It also could be interesting to see where it's like spell events in your hand may cost 1 less. If you play a spell event with reduced cost, take a horror. I'm just like, because I picture you want to play a lot of spell events with this character, so I'm curious to see how many is too many before you die and how much soak you need to run. But it's very intriguing, and I love the polymorph, and I like Withering as well, and I love the goat. All right. Dana Danny Riley, the Avatar, 3/2/3/4. A Blessed Wayfarer. As a reaction, when you discard 1 or more cards from your hand, gain 1 sun. Limit once per phase. Spend 2 sun as a lightning bolt. Draw 1 card. Limit once per phase. Elder Sign effect is +1, gain 2 sun. So just basically draw a card when you want to. 7/7 soak. Survivor 0 to 5, Mystic 0 to 3, Neutral 0 to 5. Sunburn, sun counter. Use this to tally your sun. Let's go. Nice. Sunburn, 0 cost event. Additional cost to play Sunburn, discard a card from your hand. Fight, you get +2 fist and deal +1 damage with this attack. If this attack defeats an enemy, gain 3 sun. Seems good. Seems good. A way to replace the cards you're going to draw. So basically, every 2 cards you discard turn into a replacement card. And then we have Cloudy Day. Sure looks like it. Add Cloudy Day to your threat area. You cannot gain or spend sun. As an action, discard 2 cards, discard Cloudy Day. So you don't get any sun for those cards. Interesting. I always like to see the Survivor characters because, you know, they're my class. They're my favorites. So I'm like thinking about this. So like obviously there's great cornered synergy. This deck also actually seems like it would be great for Yodel as well. You know, Yodel seems like Yodel could be tons of fun for this kind of deck. Glimmer of Hope, yeah, play them back. Just to like keep getting them back. With Glimmer of Hope it seems really good. I think the only thing that I'm like, I'd have to play test it to see, right? Play test it to see what it is, but I feel like I would want something on, like, be able to discard cards with Danny, you know? I feel like it would be something that I just feel like I would, like... Because then I think it opens up Danny to be a bit outside of just, like, cornered as, like, the way you want to go. Like, the stat line you can see is, like, please play cornered, right? But it's a Survivor stat line, so that's good. It would be something that'd be, like, you know, like, spend a resource as a lightning bolt, discard a card, limit once per phase. Just, like, a way to have it built in. I don't know, but I could be wrong. That's just, like, my initial thoughts. And I also have to see all the player cards that come with it, because there might be a lot of ways to discard cards through this. I'm just looking at this in the box of just the cards that are, like, officially exist. But it is cool, and I mean, like, the one with nothing, or whatever that one Survivor event is that, like, fills your hand back up, seems very good with Danny. You know, because you can just discard a bunch of cards and then, like, go nuts. Yeah, because I feel like the only thing that I would want is a way built in to discard cards. Even it could be on Sun Counter to save the text on Danny, you know? It could be like, yeah. I just feel like it would be better. It would open up Danny a bit more than just being like the same cards every time. Okay, I think all the investigators are really cool though. I like them. I like them. I think they're all really neat. Let's check out some player cards. Do we start with the multi-class cards? Probably, right? And we have all the bonded cards over here. Alright, Vine Whip. Like a good Bulbasaur should. 3 cost event, it's a rogue and a mystic card. I'm not gonna like say for going forward, I'm not gonna say the cards that are like this what it commits for unless like it makes me pog out of my gourd because there's like 5 fist symbols on it, okay? So just we'll keep it simple. Move, engage, fight. Choose an enemy at your location or connecting location. Move to that enemy's location, engage it, and attack it. You must either use foot or brain instead of fist and get +1 skill value for this attack. This attack deals +1 damage. So notably, this has great synergy with the green investigator from this box. Because you get a move, and you get a fight, and you get to use your foot for it. Notably, though, her fist is actually better than her foot. Not with this, though. They're equal. Cool. And also, of course, it's a spell, so it's reduced to... it's reduced with the Mystic Investigator. And also, you can also play it, and you can attack with your foot. Cool. Yeah, it's neat. I like it. It's nice and simple. I think it's appropriately costed, too. Alright. Time Warp. 3 cost event, Seeker and Mystic. Foretold 2. So this one is Foretold. Remember, this is like Suspend from Magic the Gathering, where at the start of your turn you remove a counter from it, and then when there are no counters, you play it. This is no cost to play Time Warp. Copy your damage and horror onto it. Okay. Okay, I'm picking up what this is putting down already. While Time Warp is being foretold, it gains when you are defeated by damage or horror, play this instead, and then when you play it, you replace your damage and horror with the damage and horror on Time Warp. That's actually really clever. I don't know if it's good, but it's fun. I especially like it with Rose, because you just play a bunch of spells, and then you just, you take a bunch of horror, and then you just reset. I think that's really cool. Yeah, Time Warp already does exist as a card, but just call this Time Warp 2.0. I'm serious this time. But yeah, that's really cool. Strange Injection. This is a 2-cost Rogue Seeker card. It's a listed in a supply. Attach Strange Injection to an ally asset you control. It gets +1 health and +1 sanity. Exhaust it. Ready the attached asset. It takes 1 horror. Hey, that's super sick too. Man, that's a cool card. Hulk it up, baby. Turn it into the Hulk. I love it. That's awesome. I have nothing to say, but other than this card makes me want to build a deck around it, which is a great sign for a card. Like, I just want to I want to look at allies and be like, okay, who can I stand up with this that's like not supposed to stand up? Like, you play this in the only one who I think can run it right now. No, you could play it in like Wendy, or you could play it in Daryl, and you can just like force Jacob Morrison to stand the fuck up. Get up, brother, get up, it's time to fight. I think that's really cool. Sun Charm. This is a 1-cost Guardian Seeker asset. Takes up the accessory slot. It's an item and a relic. After you take damage, exhaust Sun Charm. Test 1 brain 1. If you succeed, heal a horror. I mean, that seems really good for Armor Boy over here. I think it's a nice, simple card. Yeah, and I also like that it's actually not in the Mystic class. I like it. I think it's neat. I think it's nice and simple. And it's an accessory slot that there's decks that'll want to run it. I think so far, all these cards I've looked at, I'm like, yeah, this is good. It's sick. It's a sick card. Martial Artist. 4 cost, ally. Guardian, Survivor. 3/1 soak. It's an ally. You get +1 fist. After you succeed at a fight action, exhaust Martial Artist, fight. You get +1 fist for this attack. So he's basically an extra damage. You have to test for it twice. I could see this card existing in the game, too. Sick. Yeah. I'm down. I have nothing to say other than, yeah, that's cool. That's neat. I like it. Oh, look at the art of this card. Yeah, it's a repeatable B-Cop that requires a test. I think it's like perfectly, it requires you to succeed a test, and then you have to do a test again. I think it's like perfectly reasonable. And then you give him the strange injection, and you go nuts. You just turn him into the Hulk. Silencer. 2 cost event. It's an item elicited in an upgrade attached to a firearm asset controlled by an investigator at your location. When you use a fight ability on an attached asset, exhaust Silencer. Use the attacked enemy's evade value for this attack instead of their fight value. That actually seems like a great piece in a lot of rogue decks. Right, like a lot of rogue gun decks, this seems like it would be a crucial piece to that, and I would love to see this card in the real game. I think also the flavor is actually resonates, where it's like it's like you're not fighting them in the, like, you're shooting them like you're like sneaking up on them. I think it's great. Yeah, these are awesome. All right. The Divine Trinity, by the powers that be. This is a 3 cost, 3 experience, Guardian, Rogue, Mystic asset. It's an ally, it's a Blessed, and it's also a Geist. Set each of your base skill values to 3. You'd love to see it. It soaks for 3/3, by the way. So we got 3s all the way down. Force, when you play a card from your hand, set that card's cost to 3. When you begin your third action each turn, gain +3 to each of your skills. Wild. I had to think about this for a second, because doesn't this seem... Preston is a man of the gods, it seems. I mean, it would be really... I think, like, it'd be really fun in Preston. But, I mean, like, I think, like... It's one of those ones where it's... If you play it completely fairly, it'll be a good time. If you play it and try to bust it, it'll also be a good time. I love it, though. Like, I love the card, you know? It's fun. It's fun. It also commits for 3 symbols. Wish it took up 3 ally slots. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's fun. I think it's neat. It makes my brain go, huh? And I want to play it in Preston. I love it. Okay. On to all of the class cards. Let's start with Guardian. So I've actually seen a few of these in our Discord. Charlie Kane material? Yeah. Charlie Kane's ready to just go with the Angels. Alright, Loyal Hound. 2 cost, ally, creature, takes up the ally slot. 1 damage, 3 horror for soak. When damage from an enemy attack is assigned to your investigator, exhaust Loyal Hound. Deal 1 damage to the attacking enemy, and Loyal Hound takes 1 horror. Poor little, Oh, yeah, that would be Charlie's Angels! Hell yeah, let's go! You know, I like it. It's kind of like, it's like a guard dog. You know? It's like reverse guard dog, but with horror instead. It's like someone's like, hey... because Charlie can take allies 0/5, right? Yeah, Charlie can take Charlie can take this Loyal Hound if he wants. Damage from an enemy attack is assigned to your investigator. I think it's neat. I like it. Yeah, I mean, like, it's a good sign that I actually don't have a lot to say, because I think just all the cards so far I've seen, I've just like been like, yeah, this is a cool card that I would love to play with. All right, Dig Up. 2 cost. Event, Insight Tactic. Parlay. Choose a humanoid enemy at your location. Test book 5. Decrease the difficulty of this test by 1 for each clue you have. If you succeed, discover 2 clues from your location and exhaust that enemy. Yeah. It's kind of... I think with this one, it feels a little bit strange that you get better at it when you're already doing better. It feels a little bit win more, you know? But, like, maybe that's what cards like this need to be good. Because we've seen, like, this humanoid stuff on a few cards before. Flanfy, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the goddamn table. It's a pleasure to have you. We've, like, seen, like, these effects before, and all of them are just, like, a little bit under. So maybe it needs to be a bit win more for it to actually, like, trigger and be, like, playable. But I do like that there is this, like, Guardian way of getting clues. I'd have to see this one in practice. Yeah, good. It is a good follow-up to Scene of the Crime. It is also cost 2. Yeah, I know. I just think this one, I look at it and all I just see is like... It just seems like counter to me. But I could be completely wrong in that. Because like I said, I think like these cards, they might need to just be that much more win more in order to actually like be playable. Okay. Disarming Chop. 2-cost event. Tactic Spirit. Fight. You get +2 fists for this attack. If you succeed and the enemy is non-elite, attach Disarming Chop to the attacked enemy. Sorry. Attached enemy has -1 fight value. If attached enemy is a humanoid, it has -1 damage value. Yeah. Hell yeah. Cards like this, like, obviously I would love to attach this on elite enemies, but there's that precedent where stuff like that doesn't happen in this game, and it's probably for the better, right? It's probably for the better. But effects like this, I realize that I undervalued. And while I don't think this card is gangbusters, I think an effect like this, especially against humanoid enemies, is very nice. Like, you do this if you're playing against the Brotherhood cultists in... Why does my ear hurt? Owie! Brotherhood cultists in Forgotten Age, and you basically just remove 2 doom from them. It's a way that you could potentially do that. So I think it has its home. I think it's neat. Fencing Sword. I've seen this card too. This one's neat. 3 cost. Takes up a hand slot. Item, weapon, melee, bold. Fight. You get +1 fist for this attack as an action. If it's your first action, this attack deals +1 damage. Fight. You get +1 fist for this attack. You may exhaust Fencing Sword. If you do, this attack deals +1 damage. Yeah, I mean, like, it has, like, what I love about this card is it feels like you have that dexterity that a fencer would need to fight with in order to, like, get it. I think it's a strong weapon. I actually think it is quite strong, right? Because it can deal 4 damage over 2 attacks. When Fencing Sword is going to get bad is when it's up against the bosses. But I think for, like, a 3-cost weapon, this could feasibly cost, like, 4, and I'd probably still play it. Maybe not, because Machete's just also that, so 3's probably a good spot for it. I also love this weird woman in the background that Midjourney just decided to put in. I think the card's cool, though. I like how much it captures the dynamic of fighting, like, with a Fencing Sword. I think it does really well for that. Clawed Gauntlet. It's a 4-cost asset. Soaks for 2 damage. It's an item, weapon, melee. As a lightning bolt, during your turn, if you have an empty hand slot, exhaust Clawed Gauntlet. Fight. You get +1 fist for this attack. I think this is a really cool card. This is another one that I've actually seen before. It's so damn cool. And it's so damn fair. It's just good, right? Like, it's just a good card. It's by no means, like, incredible. But you basically are, like... you're just, like, giving up a hand slot, or a bandolier is also in play to get a free attack each turn. And a free attack is not nothing. A free attack is not equal to +1 damage on a weapon, right? It's just not. But it's close. It's close. I think it's cool. Grave Responsibility. Make it a charm so Amina can take it. That actually does seem kind of fun, doesn't it? Great responsibility. So the skills all need to say what they commit for. Commits for 2 brain. It's developed. If this test is successful, if you have 4 or less total remaining sanity and health, heal 1 damage and horror. Cool. Yeah. I think there will be times where you're going to want to take this. I think, like, especially with Armor Boy, it seems nice. Yeah, not bad. Also, I don't know, I have to say this, Jenny Barnes and Noble, and I don't know if this is just my own depraved brain, but I can't look at this card and not think of Goatsy. So, just heads up. It might just be me. Feel that last card should be a spirit. This one? Yeah, I could see that being a spirit. Yeah, definitely. Anyways, let's go to Ceremony of the Broken Chain. 1 cost event. It's a ritual. Take a damage. An investigator location may take an immediate action. If it was their turn, they get +2 fists during this action. Hell yeah. I like it. I think it's nice and simple. You can do it on yourself, right? I love this in, like, Daniela as well. I think it's one that I know there's an upgraded version because I once again see it up here. I can see the card. I just know it's there. But what I like about it is that it's like this version's not. This one costs 5 experience. Holy hell! I can't wait to see what it does. If you want Goatsy, go back to the Witch Investigator. Oh yeah, there's it. I see a goat now. There it is. Hell yeah. I think like the level 0 version isn't great, but it's like there's homes for it, which I think is neat. Also, like, you know, could just be absolute desperation to crack that out. All out attack. This is a 3 cost event. It's spirit and it's bold. Cunning, which means it does not provoke attacks of opportunity. Deal 2 damage to an enemy engaged with you. If this is not your first action, test brain 2. If you fail, take 2 damage. Whoa! I love it. I think that's neat. Once again, I think it's completely fair. But 3 resources for 2 damage? Hell, I'll take that. I love it. That's great. No matter the cost. This is a practice skill. You may commit no matter the cost to any type of test. There's no cost to commit no matter the cost. Take up to 2 damage. For each damage taken, no matter the cost, gains wild. Yeah. Promise of powers are good. Is a promise of power worth 2 damage? Potentially in the right deck. Yeah. I do like that you have, like, a similar aesthetic. Like, obviously, it took a lot of time to get through and get all these generations, but they're cool. I remember loving the hell out of this guy, okay? So this is Professor Wallace. A simple diversion. When Professor Wallace is defeated by damage or horror, place a doom on the current agenda. This is a 3/3 soak. I think this card's very good. It's a cheap rate for soak. And he's not going to die because you're just going to play something else. You're just going to play something else that, like, he's just going to soak for you. Like, you play this in Mark Harrigan and then just, like, replace it with another ally down the road. Card seems incredible. I love it. Yeah. And then if he does die, you just try to have him die at the right time. I think it's cool. There's a pumpkin! Yeah, this is a very good card. This is a very powerful card. I don't think it's, like, busted. I don't think it's, like, at the point where I'm like, this is, like, dangerous. But I think that he is a very good card for the cost that you put in. You know? Let me just call in some favors. Oh, hell yeah. Exactly, right? All he does is soak. So, like, soaking doesn't help you, like, win the game. It just helps you not lose. So I think that there is, like, that, which is kind of keeping him in line. But I love the card. I love the card, and I love to play with this card. And then we have for the last level 0 Guardians, Parry. It's an event. Trick Spirit. Fast. Play only if you control a melee asset. When the enemy attacks you, cancel that attack. Cool. Easy peasy. Great in Daniela. Daniela would love the hell out of this card. Just give her another dodge. Diana would love the hell out of this card, you know? Because she has her knife, right? Like, this would be really good in Diana as well. Just, like, more cancels. I love it. I love it. It's also, I think, once again, quite fair. You make up for the 1 cost in dodge by needing to have a melee asset in play. Okay. Upgraded cards. There's a lot of cards in this set. We're going to be here for a while. All right. Loyal Hound. 2 cost, 2 experience. When damage from an investigator from enemy attack is assigned to your investigator, exhaust Loyal Hound, deal 1 damage to attack an enemy, and Loyal Hound takes 1 horror. As an action, pet the dog, heal a horror from Loyal Hound. Can you pet the dog? Yes, you can pet the dog. I don't think this is like it's like, it's not a great way to spend your actions, but if you need to pet the dog, you can pet the dog. I think it's a fine upgrade. Upgrade to Dig Up. So this is a 2 cost, 1 experience fast. Ooh, is that the difference? The main difference is that it's fast now? And exhaust. No, the other one also exhausted. So it's just fast is the main difference. I'm the worst at like picking out the difference between 2 cards. Notably, if you can actually see, you can see that each of these upgrade into a single class card later. Oh no, do they go into each class when they upgrade? So is there going to be a martial artist and survivor? Oh, that's fun. Okay, all right. Upgraded Goatsy, Ceremony of the Broken Chain, 5 experience, 0 cost, fast play only during your turn. Take up to 3 damage. An investigator location may take an immediate action if it's their turn for each damage taken. They get +2 to their fist. That's a wild card. I think it's like, it's very Guardian for extra actions, and I love it. It's expensive. It's expensive as all hell, but I think it could be very fun to play with. I like it. I like it. All right, no matter the cost, upgraded. Commits for 2 wild, 5 experience. Holy hell, it's practice. If you'd fail this test, you may take 3 damage to have the test automatically succeed instead. Interesting. Is that worth 5 experience in my head? Probably not worth 5. This one does seem actually like a little bit overcosted for experience for me. If you compare this to Justify the Means, which I believe costs 3 experience. Yeah, I could actually see this one going down to like match this. I think 3 damage is a lot to have to commit to it. I think this could probably match it at 3. Because these two are kind of similar. I like it though. I just think it's a bit overcosted. Grave Responsibility. 2 experience. If this test is successful, if you have 6 or less total remaining sanity and health, heal 2 damage and 2 horror. So a lot more. 4 or less. That is a lot of healing. That is a lot of healing. It's a lot. That is a lot of healing. I think, though, it's like kind of... I was playing with Fickle Fortune recently. And obviously you don't use this card for the healing part of it. Like, you're using this just to get extra turns. But I think it's probably pretty comparable. Yeah, I don't know. I have to see that one. But once again, like, I don't get excited by healing, but I also play Fearless. Like, I also will still play Fearless in the right deck. I have to give that one a shot to see how it goes. Okay. Professor Wallace, the upgraded version, level 3. He's cunning, so that means does not provoke attacks of opportunity to play. And now he can soak for other people. And now he's when defeated by damage or horror, suffer a mental trauma, or place 1 doom on the current agenda. Yeah. I like the change on this because it actually makes me like more okay to kill him. You know? Like, this guy can die now. I still think he has all of the power that the first one does, but I mean, like, if you're going to be doing the broken things... Not broken. If you're going to be doing the strong things to, like, recur him, you know? This... You can do the levels that with the level 0 version, right? Because he still soaks for 3 and 3, right? I like it. Alright, upgraded martial artist. He's 4 cost, 3 experience, sorry. 4-1 for his soak. +1 fist, +1 foot. After you see a fight action, exhaust the martial artist, fight. You get +1 fist to this attack. This attack deals +1 damage. I think 3 experience is probably fair for that. He seems like he'd be a blast to play with, though. I like it a lot. You want to play this with butterfly swords and just, like, play it with Lily and just, like, grab a million tokens to try to get Elder Sign. Just go Elder Sign fishing. Seems like it'd be really fun. Big brain move. Take Professor Wallace and take Miskatonic expedition funding so he can't soak. That bastard will never die. Fencing sword. Okay, so it's a 3 cost, 2 experience. Fight, you get +2 fist. If this is your first attack, +1 damage. Fight, +2 fist. You may exhaust it. Deal +1 damage. And then fight. Before this attack, the attacked enemy attacks you. You get +2 fist and for this attack, and this attack deals +1 damage. Whew. I like it. It once again continues to explore the flavor of the character. Of the fencing sword thing. Frenzied sword parry combo with that third action. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I like it. I think, once again, I think it just like further expands on a card that I already thought was really cool. And we can add it onto the list, the cards that Daniela wishes she could take. 44 Colt Dragoon. 5 costs, 1 experience. Takes up a hand slot. It's an item weapon firearm. Uses 4 ammo, limits 6 ammo on 44 Colt Dragoon. Exhaust it and spend up to 6 ammo. For each ammo spent, you... Oh, what the fuck? That's crazy. Blam, 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 blam. So you don't get any bonuses. And you also don't deal any extra damage. But you can essentially take 6 fight actions for 1 action. Just... I love it! And you can exhaust it to place an ammo on the Colt Dragoon. What a fun card, huh? Like, isn't this card just like... It just seems really fun? I love it. I think that card's, like, hilarious. I think it's great. I don't think it's particularly, like... Because, like, once again, like, you're going to play this in Mark Harrigan. A sad thing, social follow-up on the goddamn table. And, like, you want to put, like things on it, you know? Yeah, I think it's also quite balanced as well. I love it. I think it's great. Bark Skin. 1 cost, 1 experience. It's a spell. Fast play when the enemy phase begins. For the rest of the enemy phase, when an enemy attacks you, reduce the damage dealt to 1. I like it. Simple. There's going to be decks that would want this. There's going to be campaigns where this would be better than others. I like it. Not horror, mind you. Not horror, but maybe there is like Bark Brain coming up down the road. Yeah, it's a tree going around the man for Midjourney. That's what happened there. Got a little bit. You know, the hand looks okay, though. Like, I know Midjourney is a problem with hands, but that hand looks pretty alright. I know it's more human hands, but still. Alright, Parry. This is a 2 experience, 0 cost event. Only if you control a melee asset when the enemy attacks you, cancel that attack, take a fight action on a melee asset you control targeting that enemy. You get +1 fist for this attack. This seems good. It's about on par with Survival Knife, though, right? So, like, it seems to be the level of experience. It's like, maybe this should be 3, but Survival Knife kind of like shows you that this is like a 2 experience effect. Cool. All out attack. Cunning, deal 2 damage to an enemy engaged with you. If this defeats that enemy and is your first action, you may add this to your hand. This is not your first action. Test Brain 1. If you fail, take 2 damage. 2 cost, 3 experience. Whew! Wow. I think it's going to read better than it plays, right? This reads a lot better than it actually is going to play. It's one of those things, right? Where you're like, oh, I'm going to get this back every time. And then you draw a 3 health enemy and you're like, fuck! So I think at that point then, I think it's like quite reasonable. Because if you draw anything but like a 2 health enemy, because the enemy has to be engaged with you, so you can build around it to like make it better, you know? Beat Cop certainly helps. And you still have to pay every time. So I think like it's one of those things that like, yeah, when you really strip it down, it's like, oh, I need all these moving pieces to be able to do this, loot this efficiently, you know? Cool. Yeah. All right, Seeker. Okay. We're at what? We're 50 minutes in. Oh my god. All right. Special delivery. This is foretold. So once again, it's going to have 3 turns till you can actually play it. 3 cost, supply and faded. Choose an investigator location, then investigator searches the deck for a card, it draws it and shuffles the deck. Easy. Don't even need to, like, this is just, like, delayed. It's obviously, like, searching for what you want is, as we know, a 5 experience effect for 2 resources, right? Because that's the no stone unturned. But this is 3 resources, and you search 3 turns from now. So if you get this on, like, turn 8, no one's seen the card until turn 11. So I think it's, you might be like, this seems pretty spooky, but I think for 3... and the Foretold 3, it's pretty good. Is there an upgraded version? There is. Alright, I can't wait to get to this fucking Jack-o'-lantern. Novice Detective. 1 cost, ally, soaks for 2 and 2. You get -1 book because the dude fucking sucks. As an action, as a lightning bolt exhausted, place one inclusion location, draw a card, and gain 2 resources. Exhaust Novice Detective and place one inclusion location, move to a connecting location. Useless. A hindrance to your investigation. Well, that's not very nice. Interesting. I love the economy part of this card. But that -1 book, I mean, it's not something, but it's not nothing, you know? I know what I said just probably didn't make any sense. Look at this motherfucker over here. Is there an upgraded version of this one? No, he's just some guy. But at least he's not a nerd. That is true. All Miskatonic allies are nerds, am I right? This one really intrigues me. I think this card is actually quite powerful. I don't know. I'm putting a flag in this one. This one scares me. This is the first card that I see that actually terrifies me to my core. Everything else has been like, yeah, but this one, there's something about this kid that I don't trust. Alright. Perfectly arranged. This is a wild practice skill. If there are no clues in location, perfectly arranged gains. Wild. That's clever. I like it. That's awesome. I love it. I think that's a great card. It's like the opposite Inquiring Mind. Dig it. Ahead of schedule. I love... It's like my art thing I love. I love when there are, like, perfectly round shapes that, like, people are standing in front of, or, like, a piece of them are in front of. Anyways, this is a 1-cost tactic. Fast. Play only during your turn. Remove 1 time counter from a card being foretold in your play area. If this effect removes the last time counter from it, draw a card. Cool! An effect like this, I think, is necessary. To see how many more faded foretold cards there are. But... I think that this is sick. I think it's a great card. Is there another upgraded version? No. Okay. I think that's great, though. I think cards like this you're going to want to have in the set, so I think that's great. Master Plan. Foretold 2. It's a 0-cost tactic and faded. Additional cost to play Master Plan. Place a tactic or insight card from your hand under Master Plan. Play the card under Master Plan without paying its cost. Interesting. So Foretold is at the start of your turn. Okay. I think it's neat. Once again, it has like that same kind of thing as special delivery. But what you do... Alright, here's what you do. You play Master... So you play Special Delivery. And then you play Master Plan. And you put Ahead of Schedule under Master Plan to then remove the last time counter from Special Delivery to draw a card. And that is a PBG combo. King's Protection. This is a 3-cost boon asset that takes up the accessory slot. Uses 0 decrees. As a reaction, after you draw 1 or more cards during your turn, exhaust King's Protection. Place 1 decree on King's Protection. Interesting. When an alien enemy with a fight less than or equal to the King's Protection decrees would engage you, Exhaust gets protection and spend all decrees, discard that enemy. Oh! So it's like a very slow, very specific disc of its Zamna, right? That's kind of like what this is competing with in terms of design space. And it can just keep going. You have to draw the cards during your turn, so upkeep doesn't care about the King's protection. I like it, though. I like it. I think it's like very... The specific decks will want it, but I dig it. I dig it. Oh, boy! Jack-o'-lantern. Okay. 3 cost. Item, tool, hand slot. You get +1 skill value for skill tests on hazard cards. So this is an asset. As a reaction, when you initiate an investigation, exhaust Jack-o'-lantern, you get +1 book for the skill test. Discard Jack-o'-lantern. Cunning. Deal 1 damage to an enemy at your location. That's kind of cute. I kind of like the idea of just like running 2 Jack-o'-lanterns. Using those. I like it. It's also the funniest thing in the world to scavenge back. I want to build a scavenging deck that's all about recurring these Jack-o'-lanterns. I don't think the card's particularly great, but I do think it has a lot of moving pieces that make it very playable. Day jobs. This is a permanent. Permanents are always scary. It's a task. Limit 1 per deck. Purchase a deck creation. Triple action. Gain 4 resources and draw 2 cards. Put a resource on day job as a work. During the resolution of the scenario, if day job has no work on it, suffer 1 mental trauma and exile it. Interesting. This is actually pretty interesting. I think I really like this one. It's basically like you take it when you're like, I think I'm gonna need like some like an emergency, and you just like, yeah, you can do it on the first turn and just like gain stuff. I'm very curious about this one. Because, I mean, like, I've been with players who have... I've also had to do it where you're like, okay, I'm going to draw a card, gain a resource. I think this card is not going to be played in Seeker, though, is it? It's not going to be played in the main Seeker. This is, like, for off-class Seekers, right? Where you want to just, like... You're, like, the fighter can take this, like fucking Joe Diamond. Or Roland Banks. There's no monsters. And just be like, I'm working this turn. It is, yeah, it does seem... I'm going to put a flag in this one, too. I like it, but it does seem very powerful. Or Zoe? Yeah! Or Zoe! Yeah, it's a bit spooky. But I mean, like, yeah, it's good, though. But you have to, like, you basically... Would you give up a turn for 4 resources and 2 cards? Probably, right? If you need them. Problem is, if you miss it once, it's done. Alright, repeat the past. 1 cost, spell event. Fast. Play when you draw an encounter card during the Mythos phase. Instead, draw the top card of the encounter, discard pile. You get +1 to all stats during the resolution of that card. Cool. I love it. Yeah. This could be in Mystic. I feel like it's more Mystic than Seeker. But I like the effect. Final Gambit. 10 cost, Foretold X. Choose X when you play Final Gambit. Reduce the cost to play Final Gambit by 2 times X. Discard each non-elite enemy or location. Discover 2 consumer location. Discard all cards from your hand. Whoa. Wow. That's fun. That's a fun card. I kind of dig it. These Foretold cards are really hard to, like, understand how well they'd play. Wow. This goes into the Hunch deck. It does go into the Hunch deck. Reduces cost by 2. And then the rule is you have to play it. 0 cost 5 turns from now. Yeah, no. But I mean, I think what this card kind of does is it kind of opens up like the no hand, the pessimistic outlook on the empirical hypothesis, right? I think that's... So Foretold is basically suspend from Magic the Gathering. So put in your play area as a card that cannot be interacted with normally with X time counters, unless it specifies the ability can be used when it's being foretold. At the start of your turn, remove a time counter. Then if there are no time counters left, play this card. So it's like delayed. Suspend from Magic the Gathering. I dig it, though. Alright, Strange Seeds. It's unidentified. At the end of the round, if you have 5 or more remaining sanity, place a resource on Strange Seeds. And then in the round, if you have 4 or less remaining sanity, place a horror on Strange Seeds. If Strange Seed has 4 or more resources or horror on it, record in your campaign log that you nurtured the seeds with love/madness, respectively. Discard Strange Seeds. That's fucking sick. I like this idea of unidentified cards having like 2 things that help go into how it shapes how it upgrades. I'm very excited to see what the upgrade is. I also like it because you don't have to fucking do anything. You just get them. You know, you don't have to, like, do anything. You just play them, and you're like, all right, we're going to record this eventually. Daring Do. This is a practice skill. Commits for a brain in a book. Commit only to skill tests if you have 5 or more remaining sanity. If the skill test is successful, add Daring Do to your play area. As an asset with the text, you get +1 brain. If you have less than 5 sanity, discard Daring Do. Dig it! I love it! Great card. I like it a lot. It's really fun. All right. Where are those seeds? Here they are. Because you only get one of them. You only get one of them. It's not a combination thereof. So this one's Madness and this one's Love. Very interesting. We'll get to those. Okay. Time Warp. Foretold 3 Ethereal. As additional cost to play Time Warp, copy your damage or horror onto it. Place 1 resource on Time Warp for each card in your hand. Wow. Okay. So it's while being foretold when you'd be defined by damage or horror, play this. Replace your damage and horror. So it does the same thing. But you're going to draw a discard until you match the number of cards in your hand when you play Time Warp. Gives it off even cooler to experience. I love it. I think that's really fun. I think that's sick, and I like more of the Time Warp because that card is just obviously needs to be renamed, but I think it's like really good and just fun, you know, just fun. All right, Strange. I mean, this could be like a draw 8 in the right deck and like the right play pattern. I love it. I think it's great. All right, the upgraded Strange Injection. This is 2 cost, 2 experience. Attach an ally as you control. Attached ally gets +1 health, +2 sanity, and exhaust this. It's lightning bolt, exhaust this, draw a card. Exhaust Strange Injection, ready attached asset. It takes 1 horror. The wording on that seems weird to me. Just the exhaust this, because I know it's for the ally, because my brain thinks it's for Strange Injection. Like, I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be an exhaust attached ally, but it's like the asset gets the text. It's strange, but I like it. Like, I understand it. Like, my brain, I know what the card wants to do, but it is just like strange wording. But I mean, like, card draw, and you can just like zoop, ready it, get some more card draw. I think it's a very Seeker upgrade for it, and I'm excited to see the Rogue one. Special Delivery is now Foretold 2. Then they may play the card. Holy hell. Because that one you can't play it. And it still costs 3, but it's 3 experience. Yeah, I think that's a fair upgrade. Comes out a turn sooner. I like it. Repeat the Past. 1 cost, 2 experience. So draw the top card of the encounter, you get +1 to all stats during the resolution of that card. Draw a card. So this one is just the draw card. It just replaces itself. Which is good. I mean, like a card that replaces itself. Especially when now that Down the Rabbit Hole exists. Any upgrades just go up in value. Alright, Reality Unveiled, Foretold 2. This is a 1-cost 4 experience event. It's a spell, ritual, and faded. Discover a clue from the location, then for every 2 clues you have, you may take an additional action this turn. That card is so good! It's 4 experience. And it has to be foretold. I think it's fair, though, right? I think it's, like, reasonable. It does cost 4, and you don't get to play it, right? Like, you don't get to play it. Like, immediately, you have to wait 2 turns, right? But it's powerful. But it does cost 4 experience, right? Maybe max that out. Yeah, it probably should be maxed. Like, probably, like, what, max 3 actions, probably? Just, like, give you an extra turn. Maybe even max 2. I don't know, probably 3. But, I mean, like, I'm now going to the Bryn school of thought, right? Where if something costs 4 or 5 experience, it better be damn good. I used to be more in the Travis school of thought, but now I'm on the Bryn school of thought, right? Where a 5, you put 5 experience on something, even 4 experience on something, it better be damn fucking good. And I think this is damn fucking good. Maybe a bit too good. A max would probably just, like, rein in potentially, but I still think it's sick. Alright. Oh, perfectly arranged. 1 experience. If there are no clues in your location, it gains wild, and for each connected location with no clues, it gains another wild. That's really fun. I think that's awesome. There's not much to say other than, hell yeah, I dig it. Master Plan, Foretold 2. Initial cost to play Master Plan, place a tactic or insight from your hand. Under it, play all cards. Okay, so you get one from your hand and your deck. 4 experience. Seems fun. And you play it. You can't play that one. It's not a tactic or an insight. I mean, I think it's like a very fun effect, right? I think that's awesome. I think it's fun. The card just makes me happy, you know? And I think that's a good sign. Alright, Daring Do, 5 experience. 2 wild. If they have 5 or more remaining sanity, if the skill test is successful, add Daring Do to your play. You get +1 to all your skills. If you have 5 or less sanity, discard Daring Do. Interesting. I actually think this could be worth 4 experience. It's a good card. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe 5 is right. You get 2 of these out, you're never gonna... Nah, 5 seems alright. It's just, I feel like a 5 is like a pretty easy threshold that it's just going to hit, and then your 5 experience card did nothing. I don't know, I'd have to see this one. Like, I think I'd like want to try it at 5 and see how it feels. But it makes me excited. You know? I like it, though. I like the idea. I think, like, more skills as assets is kind of fun. It's kind of fun. Alright, down over here, the other side, Foretold 2. This is a 1-cost, 5 experience spell, and it's a double. So its initial cost to play the other side, spend an additional action. So 2 actions, 5 experience, 1 cost, Foretold 2. Well, this card is being foretold. You cannot be engaged by non-elite enemies. It cannot deal damage to enemies. Take 2 horror. What an interesting design. I love it. Exploring the foretold design space to that you actually don't want to play the card. I think that's so interesting. Wow, what a cool card. I love the hell out of that. I like it. I think it's awesome. Alright, let's look at the Happy Flower first. So 3 cost, 3 experience, Glowing Sunflower, Strange Seed. Soaks for 2 and 3. It's an ally. Research Love, exceptional. You get +1 Brain. Your location has -1 Shroud. After you discover a clue, exhaust Strange Seeds. Draw a card or heal a horror. Is that worth 6 experience after doing this? Let's look at the other one. Madness. Strange Seeds. Carnivorous Monstrosity. 3 cost, 3 experience. Exceptional. You get +1 fist. Not only enemies engage with you have -1 evade. After defeat an enemy, exhaust Strange Seeds, discover a clue from your location. Soaks for 3 too. Interesting. I don't know. I could be crazy, but they seem a little bit... I feel like they, like, 4 and except, like, 2 and exceptional. Because you only get 1 of them in your deck. And I don't know if it's, like, a strong enough effect for only them to be 1 of. But I love the flavor behind it. I think they're fun. Once again, I need to, like, see them in action to actually know. But I feel like 6 is just a tiny bit too high. Alright, winter is coming. We all love Strawberry Moon. 1 cost event, it's Fated. Foretold, 3. Search your bonded cards for 1 copy of Aspect of Winter and add it to your play area. Alright. Ethereal Bonded, Winter is coming. After you discover clue, exhaust Aspect of Winter, deal 1 damage to an exhaust target, non-enemy location. After you discover clue, exhaust Aspect of Winter, deal 1 damage to an exhaust target non-elite enemy at your location. Discard Aspect of Winter, move to a revealed location. Yeah, I actually, like, funnily enough, I actually think, like this seems stronger than, like, these to me, potentially. Exhausting an enemy is very powerful. The bottom effect is very... I feel like this is... I think, like... I don't know. I think this one might be... I need to see, but the experience seems a bit low on this one. Card seems pretty sick. You do have to wait 3 turns, though, right? So, I don't know. I like it, though. I think, once again, continue the trend of cards that are just cool. Alright. Rogue, Like a Shadow. 3 cost event, evade, disengage from each enemy, engage with you, and move to a connecting location. If an enemy would engage you at this location, repeat this, max 2 repeats. Cool! Yeah. Yeah. It's like kind of like a fair elusive or whatever that card is. I like it. Also has great synergy with the Rogue Investigator, if you remember that from a long time ago in this video. I like it, though. I like it a lot. I work alone. Hey, is this going to be more, is this some Lone Wolf support? I just bought the Gloria Goldberg cards for 45 euros. My favorite investigator. I think it was a good deal. I mean, if you are gonna play her enough that you get your values out of it, then hell yeah. You know, hell yeah. It's one of those things, right? Like, the true value is how much you play the investigator, right? If she's just going to sit in a box, probably not. But if you're going to play her, like, through a few campaigns because you love her so much, then hell yeah. Alright, I work alone. As additional cost to play, I work alone. Spend an additional action for every investigator and enemy at your location. Move to an empty revealed location, investigate. You +2 book for this investigation if you see discover additional clue at your location. Cool. Excuse me, sorry, yawning. Yeah, I like it. Hey, it's Green Shadow. There's only one person I trust, and you're not it. Green Shadow. We got some lore building in the flavor text. I love it. Yeah. I don't have anything to say other than I think this card is cool. I like it. I like the whole, like, work alone flavor. Yeah. Grapple Gun. So, this is a 2 cost. Takes up a hand slot. It's an item, tool, asset. Uses 2 ammo. Spend an ammo. Cunning. Disengage from an enemy. Engage with you and move to a connecting location. Like, you can definitely see the through line that's existing for the Green Shadow character. Like, there's a lot of moving built in, and you can move back and, like, kill the creature or, like, something like that. I like it. I think there's, like, homes for it. I also kind of like it in Monterey Jack, you know? Get out of there. Just take the grappling hook. See ya! And, like, get some resources out of it. Seems kind of fun.
Fatality.
Forlorn! 2 months at the Golden Table. Thank you for your Twitch Prime. Much appreciated. Hope you're having a great Friday. Feast Your Eyes. Oh, hey, Travis. Feast your eyes, baby. I could get behind that. It's a gambit. Commits for a while. You can only do skill tests you're performing with no other cards committed. Investigators cannot commit card to the skill test. If the skill test is successful, gain 1 resource for each investigator location and heal 1 horror. If you fail, take 1 horror. Oh yeah, I could get behind that. Hey Travis, feast your eyes on this, baby. I could get behind that. I love it. Yeah, that seems great. Explosive Assistance. This is a 2-cost event. Cunning. Deal 1 damage to each investigator and enemy at your location. When you play Explosive Assistance, increase its cost by 2. Yeah, change deal 1 damage to deal 2 damage. As a reaction, when you play Explosive Assistance, increase its cost by 2. Change to each investigator and each enemy to each enemy. I love it. It's like a fixed, it's like good. It's a very good card. But it costs 6 to be able to deal to each damage to each enemy and not investigators. Also, can we just talk about how nice it is to have the "this does not provoke attacks of opportunity" just be keyworded? Oh my god, look how much... It's so tiny on the card. It's perfect. I love it. Experimental Laser Cannon. You know, brother? I believe. What? Poor Julie. Alright, uses 3 charges. It's a 3-cost. Item, weapon, firearm, science. Takes up a hand slot. Limit 2 charges on experimental laser cannon. As an action, spend 2 charges. Fight. You get +2 fists for this attack. This attack deals +1 damage. And then the round place a charge, and it has to charge up my laser. Why the hell is it leaking from the thing? That's so funny to me. It's leaking from the trigger. Yeah, I think it's really fun though. I like the idea of charging up the laser, you know? It's experimental for the reason, and the experiment is, why is it leaking a viscous yellow pus? Perfect for Akachi. It could be really fun on Akachi, couldn't it? Yeah, hell yeah. I love that it charges. It's a great, tells a great story. All right, Appease. This is a gambit. Commits for a wild, a foot, and a book. If the skill test succeeds and is part of an investigation, evasion, or parlay attempt, disengage, reach enemy or location with no damage, move to a connecting location, and draw a card. Yeah, nice. It's fine. Yeah, I think it's a fine card. I can definitely see homes for this. Lovin' and once again Monterey Jack. An offer they can't refuse. Look at he's wearing a dress. he's half lizard, half dress. I love the art though. 0-cost event. Cursed Gambit. Parlay attached to a non-elite enemy or location. Gain 5 resources. Attached enemy gets +1 fight and +2 health. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. I'm just like going through enemies in my head. Yeah, like you want to put this on like an aloof enemy. Can you imagine if you're a curse deck, you get the cultist that gives you curse tokens, you want the curse tokens, you just give this guy, have 4 Faustian bargains in your deck? The broods cannot refuse. I'm just trying to, like, I'm looking at this, like, should it all, like, would I play this? I feel like it might need to, it might need to also have, like, would it be too good if, it would probably be too good if it evaded the enemy too, right? Because I feel like this card has a similar, issue that I see has come up with Kicking the Hornet's Nest. Where It's hard pressed for me to want to spend one of my actions to either make an enemy there or make an enemy stronger. But I think it would probably be too hard, like too good if it evaded the enemy. But I don't know if I would play it if there was no aloof enemies. I think I'd have to try this one out. I'm curious to see this one in action. I love the art though. The Godfather. Ayo! We love it! We love Italy! Yeah! Viva Italia! Let's go! 4 cost. An offer you can't refuse. It's an ally, criminal, and a plant? This looks for 2 and 2. Ally slot. You get +1 book. As an action, spend X resources and exhaust the Godfather. Search the top X cards of your deck for an illicit or criminal card and add it to your hand. Shuffle your deck. Interesting. Gives illicit decks consistency. You're rogue, so you have a lot of money. Looking for things in your deck is very good. This Lucky Cigarette case ain't illicit, right? No, it's not. Because that'd be the thing that I'd want to fish out. But you grab your lockpicks. I think the card's cool. I think it actually also like gives rogues an ally that they'd like want to play at 0. Not that there's any like there's like not like good choices, but it's like another ally that they're interested in playing. Hey, is that Vinny Tight Lips back there? Hey Vinny, how's it going? Sweet Pea. Tiny Evil. Oh my god. I love the story this card tells already. 4 cost, ally criminal, takes up a ally slot, soaks for 1/2, you get +1 book. Exhaust Sweet Pea. Another investigator location may pay you 2 resources. If they do, search your bounty cards for 1 copy of Sweet Nectar and add it to your their play area. We selling drugs? We selling drugs up in here? Limit 1 per investigator. Discard Sweet Nectar, heal a horror. Discard Sweet Nectar, you get +1 to all skills during this skill test. Interesting. What a card. Because you actually aren't losing the resources. I love the hell out of this. I think this is a really cool designed card. I love it. I wish this was real. It probably never would be, but I want to play with it. I really want to play with it. Ring of Abundance. This is a 2 cost, takes up the accessory slot. So in Rogue, this card better be good. 1 horror soak. Item charm. Non-direct horror must be assigned to Ring of Abundance before it can be assigned to your investigator card. Exhaust Ring of Abundance, gain 1 resource. Okay, it is good. You need to trigger it 3 times to like start making the money back. Less if you play the what is it? You owe me one? Nope, not that one. What's the new one that was in Scarlet Keys with skids? It's also, I'll take that. There we go. That seems really good with Ring of Abundance. Do you know who this card could be really good with too? Safina. Just like get free money? Holy cow. It is good. It's very good. Sweet Nectar can come and hang out over here. And then we got Liquidate. 1 cost. Spell. Discard a number of non-weakness assets in your play area. For each one you discard, gain 3 resources. That's cool. This seems really good with the thieves kit. Once it's empty, just like turn it into more money. Turn all my guns into cash. Yeah, play a Beretta. Get rid of it immediately. Hell yeah. Profit. I love it. I think it's great. I think that's a great card. Scary Clown! Okay. Appease. So as part of an investigation, this is 2 experience now. Move to an location, draw 1 card. Attach enemy as -1 fight, and while moving or engaging, ignore Appease's owner. That's really good. That's pretty good. I like it. That's pretty good. Upgraded Godfather, level 5. Holy hell. An offer you can't refuse. He's still a plant. You know, we're all a little bit planty, aren't we? +1 book, spend X resources, search the top X cards for deck, and play it without paying its cost. Oh my god! Oh, okay. And then you can discard an illicit or criminal asset to gain 2 resources. Oh my god! Yeah, it seems good. Seems good. Seems really fun to play with, too. I love the hell out of it. Alright. Mimicry. It's ethereal, it's fast. Play after another investigator plays an event. Play an exact copy of that event. I can do anything. I love it. That's very powerful. It's very powerful. But I love it. Isn't it fun? Just copy what someone else does? Excuse me. Sorry. I think that's sick. Apart from the Scary Clown is a little bit scary. Cash Crop. Let's go. Watered with Blood. Oh no. 2 cost, 2 experience. Cursed in Fortune uses 0 harvests. After an investigator, ally, asset, or enemy location is defeated, place a resource from your resource pool on Cash Crop as a harvest. So you actually have to pay the resources into this. When earning experience during the resolution of the scenario, if you're not defeated during the scenario, you earn 1 additional experience for every 2 harvests on Cash Crop. It's not a permanent, so you need to find it. So this one reeks somewhat similar to Green Man Medallion, which this one could be for every 3 harvests, because it kind of like works up to yeah, because it seems like its experience gain is a bit quick. However, I am going to say something. I think that these cards are kind of just win more, you know? Like, I think like this effect is good, but if your deck needs like 12 extra experience to win, or just to win more, you're probably fine without it. Even with Green Man Medallion. Like, I know you can get a bunch of experience with it, but you're going to be fine without that experience in your deck. I promise you. It's like one of those things, you know? I do think that the rates are probably it could be for every 3 harvests, but notably you need to pay for it as well, which like makes it like it's easy to still trigger. I don't know. I don't play with cards like these, so I don't really know how potent it is, but I like the idea of turning corpses into flowers. That's kind of fun. Alright, Explosive Assistance Cunning. This is the upgraded version. Deal 1 damage. When you play, deal 2 damage. Investigator. What's the difference? Cunning. Deal 1 damage to each investigator and enemy or location. Connecting location. That's a big change. Yeah, that's a big change. Yeah, that's powerful. I need to see it in action, but it is a very powerful effect. But you do need to spend 6 again for it to deal 2 damage and not nuke a bunch of investigators. Upgraded offer. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So, it only gains 3 resources now. But it gets +1 fight, +1/2 retaliate because you broke the deal. And also Victory 1. I actually think that's really fun. So, they actually, like, they fit different, they fit different spaces in a deck, don't they? The level 0 version is pure economy. This one is like, we're going to have some fun and do a challenge mode. I think that's fun, though, right? I think that's fun. I like it. Bestial Mutagen. This is a 3-cost, 2 experience item. Elicits science. Sorry, Preston. Uses 3 supplies. Spend a supply as an action. Place a horror on Bestial Mutagen, sorry. You get +1 fist and +1 foot for each horror on Bestial Mutagen. In the round, for each horror on it, you must either take a damage or spend a horror. Spend a resource, sorry. For each horror on it, you must either take a damage or spend a resource. That's kind of fun. That's kind of fun. I like emptying the vial and then selling it to the Godfather, and he's like, I can't wait to buy this empty glass. You know, I think that's kind of sick. Fun card. Risk It All. Oh, by the way, I didn't say this at the start of the video, but there'll be a link to the workshop down in the description. Hopefully you picked that up by now, that maybe you want to check the description for the workshop link. But I forgot to say that at the start of the video because I'm a good content creator. Alright. Risk It All. This is a Gambit and Faded 3 experience. Commit only to a test you're performing during the first action of your turn, and it is committed. For every point you succeed, you may take an additional action during this turn. Max 3. If you fail, your turn immediately ends. Interesting. So I think this card actually should also be bold, right? Because it has to be on your first action, which is kind of just the thing. That's just like nitpicking, but... If you take additional action during this turn. If you fail, your turn immediately ends. So that, like, the Faded makes sense, but I think it also needs to have bold for a trait. Because it cares about your first action. I think it's fun, though. Yeah. You're probably going to trigger this, right? Like, you're just going to do lockpicks and pass, but I like the risk. But it's not really that beneficial risk. But it is kind of like a ace in the hole that can fail. So I think there's, like, a pretty reasonable balance for it. I like it. Alright, the upgraded experimental laser cannon is now 4. It has 2 charges, still, limit 2, comes in with 0. Spend 2, you get +3 fist, it deals +2 damage. Spend 2 resources, place a charge on it. In the round, place a charge. So you can just expedite the process. It's still by no means a consistent gun, but I think it is a fun upgrade, and I think the flavor's really good. And unfortunately, it's still leaking. They need to fix that leak. Marigold! Okay. Fleeting Riches. This is a 2-cost, 3 experience, exceptional item, relic, cursed asset. As an action, gain 3 resources. That is a lot of resources. 6 experience, only 1 of in your deck, though. As long as you have 25 or more resources, you may take 1 additional action during your turn. Force. At the end of your turn, if there's an enemy or location, discard all your resources. Okay. You know, that might trigger more than you expect it to. Try to play this in the finale of Edge of the Earth. Uh-oh. There goes your big money deck. What an interesting design, though. I think I like it. It is not even a ready enemy if there's an enemy at your location. I'd have to see it in practice. I think, though, I just would still just play the red fan. Sorry, the black fan, right? I don't know. I like big money decks, so I'd have to try it out, but I think it is kind of neat. All right. Vine Huip. 2-cost, 3 experience, move, engage, fight. Choose an enemy or location over 3 connections away. 3 connections away. Move to that enemy's location, 1 location at a time. Engage it and attack it. Uses foot instead of fist, so you've lost the, I believe it was brain on the mystic side. You get +2 foot, and for this attack, it deals +1 damage. Yeah, hell yeah. Only costs 2? A lot of movement. There's a lot packed into this card for 2 resources. I think it's only +1 damage. I think it's a cool card, though. I think it's cool. Strange Injection, so you get +1 health, +1 sanity for the attached ally. Spend 2 resources or exhaust Strange Injection. Ready attached asset, it takes 1 horror. Alright! I still think, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it either. I think it's just more of a good thing. Alright. Last rogue card here is the Forest Ranger. 3-cost, 3 experience. Soaks for 2 and 2. It's an ally and a wayfarer. You get +1 foot. As a lightning bolt, spend any amount of resources and exhaust Forest Ranger. Reveal Chaos token if that token's modifier is less than or equal to the amount of resources spent, ignoring the plus or minus. Deal 2 damage to an enemy at this or connecting location. That's fun! That's kind of fun, isn't it? It's really unreliable. You could, like, tweak it to be more reliable, but I kind of like, I like it. It seems just, like, fun, you know? Like, you're not going to play this in, like, a deck that tries really hard, I think, but you're going to play it in a deck that cares about, like, just spinning the wheel, and we love spinning the wheel. Nice aesthetic on a lot of these, Mystic cards. Okay! On to Mystic. Okay. The powers that be. This is a 2-cost Ritual Blessed asset. Takes up the spell slot. Uses 2 charges. You get +1 brain and +1 book. When you it's forced. When you resolve a symbol token, spend 1 charge. If the power of B has no charges, discard it. Simple. Elegant. What more could you ask for? I like it. I think it's cool. And I think it's good. I think it's quite playable. You know? It's good. It's just good. Like, there's just a lot to like there. I see there's an upgraded version as well. The Frozen one. The cold never bothered me anyway. Cold as Ice. This is an ally sorcerer. Takes up a spell slot. Sorry, takes up an ally slot. 4 costs, soaks for 2 and 2. The Frozen one is not ready during the upkeep phase. When you reveal a symbol token, ready the Frozen one. As a Lightning Bolt, exhaust the Frozen one, play a spell event from your hand, reducing its cost by 2. That's a strong card. I like it. Doesn't I think it's like it's good. It's strong. But it also has it like gives you some options for the level 0 Mystic cards, which are really nice, you know? Parallel Agnes? Hell yeah. Also notably, can I tell you, have you noticed that it's another person standing in front of a circle in the art? And you know how much I love that. You know how much I love that. Good for Jim? Yeah, seems great for Jim. There's also an upgraded version we'll get to. Okay. Sun's Shine. 2-cost event. Additional cost to play Sunshine. Remove it to 2 Doom from cards you control. That's a pretty good additional cost, if I do say so myself. Do you control Baron Samedi? No, you want Doom on Baron Samedi. You don't want to remove Doom from him. Never mind. Scratch that. Scratch that thought. Fight. This attack uses Brain instead of Fist. You get +X for this attack. This deals +X damage, where X is how much Doom was removed from cards you control with this effect. Amina says, hello! Amina says, thanks for coming! Amina says, thank you. I would like to play you. I wish I was in the official game. I think that this is what Amina needed better stats or cards like this to help Amina like have a bit more juice upon release. Because right now the juice it's not quite there. Well, I mean, there's not much to talk about here. I think the card's just cool. Sanctify. 1-cost event. Attach it to a reveal location. It's a spell and blessed. Attach location gains is a reaction. When you draw a non-weakness treachery card, take 1 horror. Cancel the card's revelation effect. Discard Sanctify. Ward of protection, but for everybody? Only on a revealed location. That's really interesting. Interesting. I think it's good. I don't think you're going to play it all the time, though. I don't think it's not staple worthy like Ward of Protection is, right? Because there's a lot of scenarios where this is just going to be a dud. But I think the card's really cool. I like the design space of it, and there's also an upgraded version, so I'm excited to see that. Read the Leaves. Hell yeah. 5 charges, 3 cost spell slot. As an action, spend a charge, investigate. You use Brain instead of Book. If you succeed, look at the top card of the encounter deck. If it is a treachery, discover an additional clue. Return that card to the top of the encounter deck. Okay. You can see some interesting balance that exists here, right? It costs one less and has one more charge because it's not always going to give you an additional clue, right? Gloria. Yeah, Gloria would love the hell out of this card. Grandma's going ham for some tea leaves. She loves drinking tea. She loves reading the leaves. Yeah. I like it. I think the card's good, though. I think it's like, yeah, and there's no upgraded version either. I like it. I like it, though. Intensive training. This is a practice skill that commits for a brain, a fist, and a foot. If this skill test is successful during a fight or evasion attempt, place one charge and ask you control and heal one horror. So this is the kind of shit that, like, I was like saying, do we have more passive healing that also goes above and beyond for Rose Smith? And the answer is yes. Does this kind of swallow up Fearless? Yeah. But you only have it on specific fight or evasion attempts, so you need to use it on specifically those. It is practice as well. This card's incredible. I would love to see it in the actual game. I think this card would be very fun to play with. Enchanting. Skill. Innate. Commits for a brain. Silas. I see innate, I immediately think of Silas. If this skill test is successful, every other investigator or location heals one horror. Never mind. Cool card, though. I think the card's fun. It's like a Fearless, but for everyone else. Chrono Step. This better be good. It sounds so cool already. 3 cost, spell, Foretold 3 ethereal. When your next turn ends, ready all cards you control and take 3 additional actions. So you play it. You wait 1. Here, let's zoom in. So you play it. You take 1, 2, 3 turns. It plays. But you don't get it that turn, you get it next turn, right? Because it's when your next turn ends, not when this turn ends. This probably should cost like 1 more, maybe. Maybe 3's fine, though. It's a powerful effect. This also probably should cost like 1 experience. That probably shouldn't be level 0. This should probably be an experience card. Strong card. Alright, Zen Garden. Oh, look at that art. I love it. 2 cost, task. Thank you, robot, for making it. Attach Zen Guard to your location. Attach location gains an action. Heal a horror. Yeah, I don't think it's particularly playable in like the grand scheme of things, but I do like the synergy with Rose Smith, and I just like the card in general, you know? I think it's fun. Witchweed. Oh, let's go! Luke Robinson smoking that witchweed, having a little too good of a time, you know, smoking that witchweed. Hey, and it synergizes with Luke Robinson. 1 cost, item charm, takes the accessory slot. When you spend a charge on an asset you control, exhaust witchweed, gain a resource. You may take 1 horror to gain 2 resources instead. Yeah, it's probably good, right? Like, this is probably like a very good card. I think it has that awkward thing where it's running it's running for the accessory slot, so like 4 Brain Mystics, unless you're probably Luke Robinson, would have a hard time like making a spot for this. But I like that it's charges as well. This card interests me though. This card, it really what's going off what Astute's saying in chat, what do you think is the Nightmare Blunt rotation for Ancient Ones? It's probably got to be like Nyarlathotep, Haster, and one more. We didn't. What's a god that's like really like full of themselves? But it's definitely not a Haster and Nyarlathotep. This is just those two. They're going to be talking only about themselves, you know. This card intrigues the hell of me, and I see there's 2 upgrades. Alright, Witch Hazel, Learning the Art. 4-cost ally, soaks for 1/1. When you play a spell event, exhaust Witch Hazel. You get +1 brain during the resolution of this card. If you succeed on a skill test during the resolution of this card, place a resource on Witch Hazel as a power, limit 3 power. She gets +1 health and +1 sanity for each power on her. Interesting. Yeah, probably Dagon. Yeah, because he gets the blunt all wet, huh? And then Luke gets it and he's like, oh, it's soaked. Cool. That's a lot of soak. Yeah, because all she does is soak and gives you +1 brain. Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Look at this. The M1911 pistol. Well, look at this guy. I can't wait. Oh, a spider? Man, these Survivor cards are going to get nutty. Alright. Thorn Strangle. Fight. Add your brain. It's a 1-cost spell, by the way. Add your brain to your skill value for this attack. This attack deals +1 damage. If a chaos token with the symbols revealed in this attack, gain a resource. Yo, this card's incredibly playable. Yo, this card's nuts. I'd play this in like pretty much every deck. At least at level 0, you know? That's a great card. It's super boring, but holy hell is it good. Another card for Parallel Agnes, too, to bump up her consistency. I love Thorn Strangle. Alright, upgraded Mystic cards. Versus Spectral Razor? I run it in tandem with Spectral Razor. I just run them all. More ways to kill is never a bad thing for a Mystic killer, especially in 2-player. 2-player where you're like demanded to always kill things as a Mystic fighter is so much harder than a Mystic fighter in 3 or 4-player. Powers That Be. 2-cost, 4 experience. Uses 2 charges, replenish 1 charge at the start of each round. When you resolve a symbol token, spend 1 charge. If the Powers That Be has no charges, discard it. You get +1 to each of your skills. Borscht, holy cow. It's unique. It's unique. Interesting. What a neat card, huh? It kind of puts you at like a crossroads of how are you going to handle this? How are you going to do this? But like if you're planning on like Parallel Agnes would love the hell out of this card, right? Because how many spell events, how many Spectral Razors does she need to do in a round in order to win? And the answer is like probably 1, right? I dig it. I dig it. Powerful card. But also fair, I think. I think it's good. I like it. Jacqueline, yes, she would also love it. Hell yeah. The Frozen one, Cold as Ice. So when you reveal a symbol token, ready or exhaust her, play a spell event. She's 4 experience now. From your hand, reducing its cost by 3, you get +1 brain while resolving the effect. So the other one was 2, right? She was 4 and it was reduced by 2. When you reveal a symbol, ready her. She also does not ready for the level 0, but she readies for the upgraded version. That's very powerful. But I mean, it is a 4-cost ally, right? A 4-cost ally should be good. She could probably still cost 4 too, and I think it would still be fair. Yeah. I like it. Summoning Circle. 3 cost, 2 experience, spell slot. It's an ally, and that damn plant's back. As an action, if you have no copy of Summon Cat in play... Oh no, Summon Cat. Search your bonding cards for... No, that is right. That is right. We're summoning the cat. I was like, well, something's wrong here. But no, there is a cat that we need to summon. I was like, Summoning Circle, Summoning Cat. We're summoning the cat from the Summoning Circle. That's how it goes. Okay, let's go back to the card. If you have no copy of Summon Cat in play, search your bonding cards for a copy of Summon Cat and add it to your play area. After a Summon Cat you control is discarded, yeah, add a Curse Token to the Chaos Bag. I certainly hope so. Okay. Summon Cat. Ethereal Bonded. So looks for 1/1. Discard Summon Cat. Fight with a base skill of 5 and evade with a base skill of 5. So what I love about this is it's actually keeping the through line of Miss Doyle, which I think is really cute. Also, I think the cat is really cute. It also actually has like incredible curse synergy. This card is really neat. I think this card is awesome. It opens up such a play pattern, and like it opens up the curse decks in a way that I think is very special. It's also a level 2 card, which means, you know, like that's really good. And it seems really fun. Should be a ritual, not an ally as well. Yeah, that makes sense for Summoning Circle. That does make sense, yeah. I didn't notice that the first time, funnily enough, because I saw all these people around here, and I was like, oh yeah, these guys are just having fun. Yeah, and another piece for the plant tribal deck. You know, that's the most important thing. We need more plants. Excuse me. All the summoning cats summoning circle got to me. Kronberger, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the goddamn table. It's a pleasure to have you. So, not to be confused with so, with an E. X cost, 1 experience, ritual. Exceptional, uses X seeds. After so enters play, search your bonded cards for 2 copies of Reap, and shuffle them into your deck. When so leaves play, find each of those copies of Reap and set them aside out of play. Alright, let's reap what we sow. Okay, Reap. 1 cost, ritual, fortune. Bonded, ethereal. Gain X resources and draw Y cards, where X is the amount of seeds on a copy of sow in your play area, and Y is half of X, rounded down. This is a very interesting, like, space, isn't it? Because you're essentially your first Reap. It doesn't get you anywhere on resources. You're basically paying back the sow. But your second Reap. Whoo! Oh, and I think they should say bonded sow on them, not bonded Reap. But your second Reap goes to the moon. What would you play this for? 3? I'd probably pay it for... Probably 4 would be a good one, right? Play this for 4. This then gives you 4 resources and draw 2 cards. I love this. I think this is really cool, like, delayed Mystic economy. You know? Yeah, fun and very fair. Yeah, agreed. They're also ethereal. There's a lot of, like, good, like, fail-safe designs. Like a lot of the things, like, apart from a few exceptions, like the one that you could just take a million actions with, this one, right? There's a lot of, like, security, like, knobs tweaked on these, which I think is, like, really sick. Plain Reap also costs a resource. Oh, yeah, it also does cost a resource, so you actually get 1 less than this. So let's just do some math, okay? So let's say we played this for 4. We played both copies of Reap, which gives us 8 resources minus 2. So we get 6 resources, and we draw 4 cards for 3 actions. But we only get 3. Interesting. This probably could be 0. It probably could be 0 cost, yeah. Yeah, I think that, because the map then, because it's basically just like, I mean, the cards are also there, but I think it not costing a resource is totally fair, especially for, so. This one's very interesting, though. Alright, Sanctify level 5. Let's go to the level 3 one first. I'm just going to switch these around for my own little brain. Alright, level 3, 2 blessings. Attach location gains to reveal location. When you draw non-weakness treachery, take a horror and spend 1 blessing. So you basically just get more uses of it, right? Just get more uses of it. It's nice. And the level 5 version, 2 blessings. To the encounter deck? All locations gain reaction. That's sick. That's definitely worth it then, right? 5 experience for, like, these are basically, like, 2 Warded Protection 2s for 5 experience. It's also a spell, which is upgradable with Down the Rabbit Hole and Arcane Research. Sign me up. I'm in. I'm in. Upgraded Intensive Training level 3. If this skeleton is successful during a fight or evasion attempt, place 1 charge on up to 2 assets you control and heal 2 horror. I like its... Is it supposed to be 2 different assets? Because it should be. Yeah, I like on the 2 different assets. So like, there's a reason why. Also has an extra wild symbol. I think that's a nice upgrade. I would say 3 is a bit much, but not with Down the Rabbit Hole. And also it keeps it in the Mystic ones. I think this is cool. I like the design. Upgraded Enchanting. Heals a horror. If you succeed by 2 or more, they heal 2 horror instead. Hell yeah. Nice, simple, clean. You love to see it. Alright. On to the Witchweed. 1 cost. Here, give me the 1 experience one first, please. It's easier on my brain to see how they actually upgrade. Alright, so 1 cost, 1 experience. When you spend a charge on asset control, exhaust Witchweed, gain a resource, you may take up to 2 horror. If you took 1 or more horror, gain a resource. If you took 2 horror, draw a card. Interesting. So you can take 2 horror to gain 2 resources and draw a card. The level 0 version is just 2 resources. Okay, so it's kind of like scaling up with it. Okay, so the level 0 one, the horror and like the 1 horror for an extra resource is the same, but it's now you can draw a card. Okay, level 4 version. When you spend a charge on an asset, control, exhaust Witchweed, gain 1 resource, and draw a card. You may take 1 horror to gain 2 resources and draw 2 cards instead. Yeah, that's pretty good. These cards are still very compelling to me. And honestly, they are probably, apart from maybe like the Godfather, is like the card that intrigues me the most. Yeah. Yeah, they're very fun. I like them a lot, and they get my brain going. I like Witchweed Mystic needs something cool for accessory. Yeah, and yeah, I agree. It's just really cool for an accessory slot. Okay. Vine Whip, 3 cost, 3 experience. Move, engage, fight, choose an enemy or your location or connect location. Move to that enemy's location, engage and attack it. Attack uses brain instead of fist. You get +2 brain, deals +2 damage. If you reveal a symbol, automatically evade the enemy. So this one, it's only connecting and +2 damage and the evade. I feel like that feels very mystic, feels very spelly. I like the upgrade. All right, I'm very excited to see this one. Time Warp. 3 cost, 2 experience, Foretold, 2 ethereal, addition to cost. Damage, horror, and resources on it. When you're defeated by... So you're basically just get your money back. That's actually really good for Mystics. It is a little bit awkward where it does cost 3, right? But you have time to get that resources back and then spend it, or alternatively, like, just have a bunch and then spend it all and then go back up. I still think these cards are super fun, super flavorful, and I think they're a home run, so I'm excited. Homemade Bomb. What are these survivors up to? Okay. Speaking of survivors, it is Survivor time. My favorite class, my favorite cards. Let's see. Scary Spider. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Misunderstood Stakes. 1 cost, Insight Event. Additional cost to play Misunderstood Stakes, choose and discard a card from your hand. So this is something I said ages ago, which was that pay attention to the cards here that discard because they're supposed to work with Danny, which I believe is the character's name. Fast. Play when you fail a skill test, put it on a non-elite treachery card. Cancel all effects of the failed test. Ignorance is bliss, right? What an interesting card. It seems powerful for a level 0 card, but it also, once again, seems pretty fair if you can't take advantage of the discarded card, right? Like, if you can't, like, you're only going to play this in a deck in which you are planning to discard cards. And the best kind of cards that can be designed exist not in like the staple sense, but in like the deck sense, I think. And I think this fits in, like I'd play this in probably, like if I'm playing Glimmer of Hope, I'd run this. If I'm playing the American Captain America shield, I'm running this. If I'm playing like frickin' Moonstone, I'd probably maybe run this if I had some of those other things. Yeah, I like it. The M1911 pistol. So 3 cost, item, weapon, firearm, illicit. Takes up a hand slot, uses 4 ammo. As an action, exhaust M1911 pistol, spend an ammo, fight. Deals +1 damage. If this test fails, you may spend 1 ammo and discard a card to repeat this test. Interesting. You get +2 fist for this attack. So you don't get any bonus on the first one. This is a bit awkward. I don't know if I'd play this one. It is a discard outlet for the investigator, but also outside of that, it seems very awkward to fight with. Because you only get like 2 shots out of it. I don't know. I mean, I do think it is good with Danny, right? I think it's good. That's the character's name, right? I haven't forgotten. Yeah, Danny. Yeah, Daniela could play this. It is level 0, though. I feel like it should have, like, 1 extra ammo on it, though. I think it should have, like, 1 extra ammo. Okay. Let go of me! This is a 2-cost Gambit. Fast play when an enemy would engage you. Test foot 2. If you succeed, disengage from each enemy engaged with you and move to a connecting location. If you fail, you may discard a card to attempt the test again. So there is a lot of discard synergy here. As it should, because the character doesn't have built-in discard stuff. But I mean, I also do like the idea of discard synergy in the Survivor decks just in general. Yeah, it's a good card. I think it's good. It's definitely playable. Happy Memories. The art made this guy look like a fucking giant. So, skill 2 brain, developed, 1 per skill test. If it's successful, draw a card. If it fails, heal a horror. Yeah. I think it's playable. I think it's fine. Like, level 0 skills, they don't need to be, like, flashy, right? They just need to have a goal and complete that goal, and I think it's doing it here. I like it. Okay, Growing Spider. 1 cost asset. It's an ally. Takes up your ally slot. It's a creature. 2 cost. Forced. When an enemy location is defeated, place 1 resource on Growing Spider as a growth. While Growing Spider has 1 or more growths, you get +1 foot. While it has 2 or more growths, you get +1 fist. While it has 3 or more growths, you get +1 fist and +1 foot. End the round if Growing Spider has 4 or more growths on it. Search your bonded cards for 1 copy of Arachnid Monstrosity and draw it. Discard Growing Spider. Massive and Hunter. Oh my god. It's fun, isn't it? I feel like there's also like a fun little balance that you can do of trying to like replace it before it dies or have it die before it dies. But it's flavorful and it's really fun. My voice is starting to feel this. I like it though. Monstrosity should be ethereal as well. Sick. Okay. Gardening Shears. 2 cost, 2 hand. You know, makes sense. Item, weapon, melee. As an action, discard a card from your hand, fight. You get +2 fist for this attack. This attack deals no damage. If you have no cards in your hand, return Gardening Shears to your hand. Interesting. I mean, the effect is very good. That's a very good fight at level 0. You do have to discard the card. So you need, like, synergy to go with it. But, I mean, like, with the printed investigator, hell yeah. Is there an upgraded version? No. There's for happy memories. Okay. A bit of improbability. An unfortunate eventuality. 3 cost, accessory slot, item, and science. When you reveal an autofail token, discard your hand. If you discarded 3 or more cards, treat the autofail token as a 0 for this test. Whew. Exhaust, a bit of improbability, draw 3 cards, discard a card at random from your hand. That's fun! Very powerful for 0, right? Like, pretty powerful effect. But it does cost you a lot of juice. Super playable with Empirical Hypothesis, though, with the Pessimistic Outlook again. I think I would enjoy trying to play with this card. It is always a bit counterintuitive to have strategies where it's all about losing your resources, especially because, like, resources are so important in all card games. But I do think that this is a pretty good payoff, and, like, it draws a lot of cards. Like, you don't care. At this point, you don't care about the cards in your deck. You just want cards to be discarded from your hand. Beg for your life. Please, Cthulhu. Tactic Desperate. Parlay. Test Brain X Rex's number of enemies engage with you. If you succeed, disengage from all enemies engage with you and move to connecting location. If you have 4 or less remaining sanity, reduce the difficulty of this test by 1. Yeah, cool. Neat card. I like it. Thrill of Possibility. A 2-cost insight. Fast. Play during any lightning bolt window. You may discard a card from your hand instead of paying Thrill of Possibility's cost. Draw 2 cards. Whoa. Is this a reference to Magic the Gathering's Thrill of Possibility? Great. I'd play the hell out of this. It costs like 1 card. See, this seems good. Like, obviously, you need discard synergy for it to actually, like, be a playable card, right? Like, because otherwise I think there's just better options. But I like it. I like the card quite a bit. I mean, you're not actually... If you pay for it, you're paying 2 resources for 2 cards. For 1 card. If you're doing this, if you're discarding a card, you're actually, like, just replacing the cards that you have discarded. So you're actually not going up on cards. That's why I think this card is really only playable if you're looking to get discard synergy. In which case, it's very good. But I don't think it's like one of those things that you're just going to run it in any Survivor deck. You're going to need to want to be able to discard cards or benefit from discarding cards. Smelling Salts. 3 cost supply. An investigate location puts an ally asset in their discard pile into play under your control. Deal X damage to the ally where X is 1 less than their printed health. Whoa, that's cool. That's powerful. Chance encounter, but like just makes them a bit weaker. Seems really fun with the spider. Kill the spider, bring the spider back. Worry not, my spider friend. You'll be okay. I like it. A Rake. 2 cost. Item trap asset. Oh my god, are they going to step on the rake? They fucking do. Action fight. You get +1 fist for this attack. Attach, as a lightning bolt, attach rake to your location. When an enemy enters attached location, deal 1 damage to it and discard rake. Q Sideshow Bob Grumble here. I think that's fun. I think it's a fun card. I like the idea of Will York killing people with this rake as well. And then we got On the Edge, an innate skill. Commits for a brain and a fist. While you have 3 or fewer resources, On the Edge gains brain and fist. While you control 1 or more fewer resources, it gains brain, fist, fist. This seems really good for Dark Horse decks. I love the idea of Haster tripping on a rake. What an idiot. Yeah, he's just a fucking... Or like Father Dagon. Just, I got you fucking nerd. I like it. I like this On the Edge, though. Oh, I'm very excited to see upgraded rake. Okay. Okay, last batch of cards here. Oh, Get some energy going. Do we find out who the winning class for this is yet? The class that got the most from this custom expansion? I'd probably say it's probably Mystics. I think the Mystics got the most stuff that actually make, like, change up the class and provide you with viable alternatives to it. My watch list is still on this guy, though. I don't trust him. Alright, Not of This World. This is a 2 experience, spell developed skill. Quits for a wild. If this skill test fails, you may discard a card to cancel all effects of the failed test. I think this needs a bit more. I think this card doesn't do enough for 2 experience. I don't think you want to fail. I think this is just some security. You know? You put this on the test that you want to pass. Like, maybe I'm wrong, and, like, this is good enough, but you're not passing it. I don't know. This one, let's put a pin in that one. This one I think needs some juice in it. Spooky art, though. Can you imagine if that happened? You'd be like, what the frick? Okay. Misunderstood Stakes. This is a 1 cost, 1 experience, fast. Play when you fail a skill test, print it on a non-elite scenario card, cancel effects of the fail test. So yeah, the window for that is, like, smaller, but in the right campaigns, there might be things where this happens. Wow, look at Midjourney actually, like, get a newspaper. Did an okay job on that. And I love how the little plastic cup he's holding. A little, like, styrofoam cup. Martial Artist. Ooh, I'm so excited to see the Survivor one here. Okay, so 4 cost, 3 experience, 3/2. You get +1 fist and +1 foot. It's an ally still. After you succeed at a fight action, exhaust martial artist, fight, you get +1 fist with his attack. Discard a card, ready him. Yeah, that's pretty sick, isn't it? That seems really good with Danny up here. Holy cow. Just turns you into a 4/5. Stabbing people with a rake or garden shears, and this guy just keeps... So I think it's kind of sick. I think that's really cool. And even outside of that, like, there's a lot of people that this is kind of awesome with. I like it a lot. Junk Shooter. Let's go. Item, weapon, firearms, science. A 2 cost, 2 experience, takes up both hand slots, uses 2 ammo. As an action, exhaust Junk Shooter and spend an ammo. Fight. You attack with a base skill of 5. This attack deals +1 damage. And then as a lightning bolt, discard an asset from your play area. Place 1 ammo on Junk Shooter. How fun is this? I don't think it's, like, good, but it's certainly fun, right? Like, I love the hell out of it. Just put Madame LeBranche in there and pull the fucking trigger. I love it in Ashcan Pete. Improvised shield? Yeah, just throw garbage can lids in the Junk Shooter. I think there's actually a lot of decks, like a little nuts you can crack with this deck. I love it in Ashcan Pete. I want to put Duke in here. Would I go to Arkham Prison if I put Duke in this gun and fired Duke out of this gun? I love this card. Put your empty spells in it with Agnes? Now we're talking. Sled dogs? Yeah, put those dogs. They're just going to shoot dogs. This is now a dog gun. All right, this right now here is my pick for Survivor cards that interest me the most. This one's really cool. It just keeps getting deeper. You're like, what the frick? Play Bandolier 2. Put a junk shooter inside of your junk shooter. Let's go. Play the cats. Put the cats in the junk shooter. Yeah, this card's sick. It's fun. All right, Homemade Bomb. 1 cost, item illicit, 1 experience, takes up a hand slot, uses 3 charges. At the end of turn, remove a charge from Homemade Bomb. There are no charges on Homemade Bomb. Deal 2 damage to each enemy engaged with you. Discard Homemade Bomb. Where's that 1 card? It's a Foretold card that deals damage to everybody. I think there's one like that, right? It's one of the green ones. I'm pretty sure there was one of those. I'm not crazy, right? Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it was something else. But it's basically the same. This is basically Foretold, but not Foretold. No, Explosive Assistance is a favor. This one just deals damage. I thought there was one that was like you had to like wait a few turns and then you got to like do a bunch of stuff. It was like the last... Because Astute Dunsparce said, my first gambit's going to be my last gambit. Or something like that. I think it costs 10, right? Final gambit, yellow card. This one, yeah! Yeah, this one is like, it's like a similar kind of space. I just remember Astute Dunsparce saying I'm going to play this first turn whenever I get it. Okay. Happy Memories. 1 experience. If it's successful, draw 2 cards, then discard a card from your hand. If it fails, heal 2 horror. Yeah, more of the good thing. Alright, bit of improbability, 3 experience, 2 costs. When you reveal an autofail token, discard your hand. If you discard 3 or more cards, treat the autofails into 0. If you discard 5 or more, treat it as an Elder Sign. Now we're talking. That's juicy. As an action, draw 4 cards, discard a card at random from your hand. I'd play the hell out of this. I think this could be a very fun card to play. Because you also don't need to. It's not forced. I like it. Is this one forced? No. Patrice? You know? Seems like it's worth it at least, right? I'd play the hell out of this in Patrice. If I could somehow get this into Harvey's hands, I would. Can I tell you about our Lord and Savior Teamwork? The new card that Britt and I are in love with, and we're going to play all the time now. Alright. Bag for Your Life. Level 2. Parlay. Test Brain X, where X is the number of enemies engaged with you. You succeed. Exhaust all enemies engaged with you and move to a connecting location. If you have 4 or less remaining sanity, reduce the difficulty of this test by 1. Exhaust all enemies engaged with you. Disengage. Yeah, that's a big upgrade. I think it's worth the extra experience. That's a huge upgrade, though. I love it. Alright, Smell the Roses. 1 cost, 1 experience event. It's a spell. Fast. Play when an ally asks your location will be defeated. Return that asset to its owner's hand. Its owner heals a horror. That's such a good damn card. Level 4 version. Play when an ally asks your location will be defeated. Play that asset under its owner's control. Its owner's, without paying its cost, its owner heals 1 horror. Holy hell, that's also damn good. Will this make Aqua not playable? No, but we can dream that it would. We can dream and hope that this card would make Aqua not playable. Wow, these are like good cards. Like obviously in a deck that's looking to do this, but I'm down. All right. And then we got Rake, the last card here. 3 experience, 2 cost. Takes up a hand slot. You get +1 fist. It deals +1 damage. Attach Rake to your location. When an enemy enters attached location, deal 2 damage to it and discard Rake. More of a good thing. The fight action, like playable in terms of the Survivor standards, right? It's a shame that Yorick exists, because I think that if Yorick didn't exist, this could deal 3 damage on its forced ability. But I think 2 damage is still entirely fair, and I'd play this. In York, I'd have a blast playing this. Okay! I never do this, but let's choose my card of each color. Divine Trinity. Yes. Easy. Over here in Guardians, which honestly feels like hours ago at this point, my card of choice that interests me most is probably the Cult Dragoon. I think that's probably the most fun card, like, weapon designs I've seen in a very long time. I think that's really cool. Over here in Secretland, we got the Jack-o'-lantern. This card is the one that I love. Not because I love Halloween. Not just because I love Halloween, although I do love Halloween. Over here in the Rogues, it's probably the Godfather or Sweet Pea. I think there's some really good designs in the Rogue, in like the Rogue allies, which I think are really cool. Over here in the Mystics, it's probably Witchweed is the card that intrigues me the most. And then in Survivor, it's the Junk Gun. We love the Junk Gun. These cards are really cool. I think that the majority, if not all of these cards, are fantastic. I think there's some great designs here. And this is definitely one that, like, when it's finalized, I'm probably going to print in paper. If only it wasn't so damn expensive. But I mean, like, these are cool. There's some cool cards here that I would love to, like, actually include in a paper collection for when it comes time to play with custom cards in some campaigns. Nice. Thanks for watching, everybody, and thanks again to Robin, the designer of Falling For You, the player expansion. You should check it out. I think it's definitely, like, worth your time. You can find a link to it down in the description to the Steam Workshop. And then other than that, a great way to support the channel is by liking this video and subscribing to our channel if you haven't. Or if you want to go a step further, you can join us on Patreon. Lowest tier is at $3 a month. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. If by chance you have started designing your own custom player card expansion, be sure to join our Discord, which you can also find in the description. We have an entire Arkham Custom channel where it's the easiest way for me to get my eyes on stuff so that I can know, hey, I should make a video covering this, because I love covering player card expansions by custom designers. I just love reading player cards. And just the amount of design space that this game has is absolutely insane. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one. We love you, and as always, GG's.